ain't going nowhere. We got enough oil to one Guyana. I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. One Guyana. I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. Hey, hey, Guyana is nice, Guyana is fun, Guyana is clean, Guyana is green, Guyana got oil, Guyana got gold, Guyana got young and Guyana got old. I ain't talking no more. Guyana got things, we growing wings and developing things. The government real and that's a big deal. I'm singing from my heart, Guyana. I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. One Guyana. I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. Welcome to Guyana, land of 6 races, 6 different faces, and we all live in love. Guyana is a beautiful country, no other can compare. Got everything right here, so no other can compare. Guyana is made up of so many natural resources. We don't need no forces, cause we got enough resources. Let's talk about bauxite, gold, diamond, and rice. We got it right here. Guyana ain't going nowhere. We got enough oil to one Guyana. I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. One Guyana. I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I... This is Quincy Anderson. You know I love my country. There's no other country better than mine. Welcome to Guyana, land of 6 races, 6 different faces, and we all live in love. Guyana is a beautiful country, no other can compare. Got everything right here, so no other can compare. Guyana is made up of so many natural resources. We don't need no forces, cause we got enough resources. Let's talk about bauxite, gold, diamond, and rice. We got it right here. Guyana ain't going nowhere. We got enough oil to one Guyana. I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. One Guyana. I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. Hey, hey, Guyana is nice, Guyana is fun, Guyana is clean, Guyana is green, Guyana got oil, Guyana got gold, Guyana got young and Guyana got old. I ain't talking no more. Guyana got things, we growing wings and developing things. The government real and that's a big deal. I'm singing from my heart, Guyana. I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. One Guyana. I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. Welcome to Guyana, land of 6 races, 6 different faces, and we all live in love. Guyana is a beautiful country, no other can compare. Got everything right here, so no other can compare. Guyana is made up of so many natural resources. We don't need no forces, cause we got enough resources. Let's talk about bauxite, gold, diamond, and rice. We got it right here. Guyana ain't going nowhere. We got enough oil to one Guyana. I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. One Guyana. I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I... This is Quincy Anderson. You know I love my country. There's no other country better than mine. Welcome to Guyana, land of 6 races, 6 different faces, and we all live in love. Guyana is a beautiful country, no other can compare. Got everything right here, so no other can.
Good day and welcome to the first statutory sitting of the Mayor and Town Council of Georgetown for 2024. We have councillors arriving. We're yet to see the arrival of the mayor. This meeting is supposed to start at 2 p.m. However, we have several councillors who have arrived on both sides of the divide, and we are awaiting the arrival of His Worship Mayor Mentor. Hopefully, this year we will have more things being done at the council level, more action in terms of the Mayor and City Council taking up its responsibility in relation to its mandate for the city of Georgetown. Several councillors here from the People's Progressive Party side will be having a talk with them in relation to their expectations for this year, 2024, and some of the change they are hoping to effect for 2024. Hopefully, they can get their counterparts on the other side on board and move the city forward. I must mention we had some cleaning happening in the capital city. This here was organized through the PPPC councillors meeting out to central government, asking them to step in and fill the gap left by City Hall in relation to the silting of drains, weeding of carpets for the Christmas holiday. Not too much rainfall during the Christmas holiday, but we didn't see flooding in some of those places that we would normally see being flooded quickly during the rainy period. So we got Councillor Jacob, who's here. So Councillor, good day to you, good day to you. Step in. We're right here, you're right here, you're good. So I'm here with Councillor Jacobs. Happy New Year to you, first of all. And I must ask you, it's a new year. What are your hopes for this council here in terms of actually fulfilling its mandate?
Happy New Year to you, to Cordell, and all the listeners. What we need from this council is more action and less talking. We spend a lot of time here discussing and going through a whole lot of different things. But it's time for action. 2024 is an action year. I know from our side, PP side, we'll be pushing for action, and we'll be pushing the other side to get things done for the citizens. You saw us in the walk recently with His Excellency.
Right.
So you see from a government standpoint what's going to happen in Georgetown. So you want to bring that same sort of mentality. You know how we operate.
Right.
We're on ground, we're hands-on, and we want to bring that approach to council. We're in a minority here right now, but we're going to make a change and make a difference.
All right. Well, thanks for talking to us. Let me see if I catch one of your other counterparts. I think Councillor Ashby is here as well. I'll try to have a quick word with him in terms of his expectations for Council 2024. Councillor, good day, Happy New Year, and we're here for the first statutory of 2024. Share your expectations with us.
Good day, Curdo. Happy New Year to yourself as well and all the viewers out there. As this is the first statutory for the new year, we're anticipating that the mayor really takes the bull by the horn and that we could work for the benefit and residents of Georgetown. As we have experienced last year, it was a lot of lip service, back and forth, and nothing seemed to be doing. Luckily, with the help of His Excellency and the other agencies, persons will have witnessed tremendous work being done through Georgetown, the silking roads, street lights, and everything. And that is through the commitment that the president would have given to the PPC councillors that despite the city hall and the mayor seems reluctant to do anything. We cannot sit back and allow the city to continue to run in such a deplorable state. So the president had made it straight that we will continue to work with the councils, and the residents of Georgetown will continue to see the councils out in the various constituencies continue to highlighting needed works and stuff like that. And is in terms of the council, what the citizens could rest assured is that we'll continue to bang on the mayor and the administration to ensure that City Hall has accountability and transparency.
Thank you for talking to us, Councillor. I also see Councillor Dion Young here, and as we give him a minute to make his way to the microphone, Councillor Young has been on this council for some time and has been fighting the good fight. Despite the opposition, Councillor, Happy New Year to you. It's a new year. It seems like it might be the same old statutory meetings. What are your thoughts?
Um, Firstly, let me say Happy New Year to all our viewers and all those persons who continue to support us over the year. Thanks, and we ask you to continue. Look, you asked me what is my expectations, and if you know me, I'm going to be honest with you. I am not expecting nothing different from what we see over almost 60 years.
Wow.
Until we change this dispensation, then is when Georgetown is really going to get what it deserves. Georgetown and its citizens is going to get what is deserved. Otherwise, nothing new will happen. We here trying with all the plans. We're trying to bring most of the things that central government is assisting with to the council. We're trying to bring the ideas, the way forward of central government to this council. We're showing them the way things is being done by central government, by His Excellency and his team.
Right.
And we're asking them not to pattern themselves from the whole thing, but just take 5% of the things that is happening, and this council will be somewhere. So I don't expect much, brother. But the thing is, though, the residents of the city, as I always would say, deserve more, and they need to take a look at it and say, look, we deserve more. Enough is enough. Almost 60 years. How much more do you need? What more do you need to see?
No, you are in the Sophia area.
Yeah.
You've seen a lot of community roads get done in that area. Now, you and I both know that community normally supports the opposition, the PNC.
Normally uses to support.
Well, used to, right? Could you say why a political party, would not want to invest in an area that would, in the past, normally support them?
You got to understand when they get to government in 2015, it become a self-unfriend thing. Look at it and see. Look, as a president, and as most of the ministers from the APNU, never set a foot as president, as minister on the ground of Sapphire. Before, they used to come with the window down. They used
When
to
they needed the vote.
right. They would share some bunch of obviously show tickets. They would share tickets and all these things.
Right.
They will do for those things, certainly.
Yeah.
But after that, we know the rest. We know the rest. It's a sorry state, the brother. But I'm happy to say it is changing. The people have recognized, you know what? We can't continue with this thing anymore. And it is changing. Slowly but surely. Slowly but surely.
All right, thank you for talking to me, Councillor. That was Councillor Dion Young, who has been on the city council for some time, trying to effect change, trying to get persons to, or councillors on the opposition side, to get on board and work in the interest of the city. Of course, everybody knows this councillor, former Mayor Patricia Chase Green. Councillor, we're here for the first statutory today. Share your thoughts on your expectations for this year, and probably getting the council to take more responsibility for things that fall under their purview.
My, my expectations for this year is that for them to stay, for the administration and the mayor to say to this body, what are we going to do for 2024? What were our achievements in 2023 is one.
Right.
And what do we expect to do in 2024? When will our budget for 2024 start to take shape and approve? And what are our goals? We have a massive problem with garbage collection in the city. Are we addressing it properly? We need to sit today, in my opinion, and address that completely.
Right.
In fact, the saying, how many trucks, garbage trucks, is needed in the city of Georgetown? Is one clearance per week adequate in every constituency? In the hotspot areas like downtown Georgetown, is that two clearance per day adequate with
I'm so
one?
sorry to cut you, but two of us discussing it here, we know that one collection per week is not
It's
happening.
impossible.
So why do we have to waste the time to go back and forth at
Because
council level in relation to this?
because I will say to you, and with no apologies, you know how I speak. I don't think people are seeing it the way they it ought to be seen, in the fact that garbage is an important aspect in the city. Us not collecting garbage could lead to a lot of health issues and the breeding of a lot of rodents and cockroaches and all of that. And so therefore we need to wrap that in our workforce. Everybody will be on the table with one head to deal with it. But what we're doing now is a peacemaking thing. We've been doing it all along. Just pulling from here, pulling from there. We accuse the solid waste director. He's not doing his job. We accuse the contractors and not pulling up. But if the contractor tell you I want $50 to clean and you tell me I can't pay you 50, I could only pay you 25. How do you expect to get the kind of work which you want to get out of me?
Right.
Those are the things we need to sit. Then we have drainage. You are aware that the government is doing a lot of drainage in the city. Most recently, we would have walked with the president in Kitty, and a lot of drainage works has been set out to be done in Kitty. Other communities are going to have the same kind of advantage. Those are works that are supposed to be taken on by the council. But because of not having enough money or not spending the money correctly, you have all these backlogs. This market that we stand in, that we're holding our sessions, was on the verge of collapse. Under my tenure, I brought it to this stage. There have not been any maintenance work done to it,
Yeah.
and it has not been completed.
Right.
I've heard, if it was the VP or the president said they'll try to help with this market and the other markets. Starbuck market walk is on the verge of collapse. What are we going to do with it? How do we plan to deal with that in 2024? Border market has its history. How are we going to do East Renville, North Renville market, East Penitence market? All those markets, we need to look at it and see how we move forward. Then we have buildings going up, 8-story buildings, 10-story buildings. Was the city ever prepared to deal with it? But what we sit and do at all government agencies, approve it, approve it, approve it. What are the effects of it? And then we want to blame people for not doing their job. You blame the engineer that a house next to that 8-story building is cracking because he didn't do his job. All these things. Were we prepared to move with this advancement in some agencies like the Mayor City Council? No. They have not that vision, and that's my personal opinion, to go forward with. While some people are looking forward for the advancement, some people are still on the back pedaling and still on the old train wagon that has left, like the train station. Gone long ago, will never come back, but they still have those ideas. So I'm hoping that in 2024, we have a more vibrant council. And if the councils are going to work towards that vibrancy and to make sure that we get goals that are set, achieved.
Thank you for talking with us, Councillor. Take care. So that was Councillor Patricia Chase Green, who has been with City Hall for some time, former mayor, and she has still offered her services at the council level to ensure that some change is effected in the capital city. Oftentimes talking about not getting support, but hopefully she'll be able to now make an impact. I think the mayor is about to arrive so that we can get this statutory meeting started. He's a bit late, so it's a bad way to start off the year. The head of the meeting, the mayor, has arrived pretty late for the meeting, but we'll be getting this statutory on its way, and we'll be hearing about the agenda for this year. Quickly, before we close off, I see Councillor Diarmas here, and I'm going to get a quick word from him for his expectations for 2024. Now, Councillor Diarmas would have made us aware of several issues at City Hall: asset register, no audits, no reconciliation. Is that something you're going to be really pressing for this year at the council level?
Yeah, absolutely. I know as a result of our agitation for these things, finance committee finally decided on to hire an auditor, an accountant. So that was done. I think the decision is going to be ratified in council today. Hopefully that means that we can move forward on the asset register, then the audits. And but that's something that we're really that's my main focus for 2024 is to make sure that our financial status is in order, because without finances, we can't service our citizens properly. To me that's the most important thing above everything else.
You also spoke about the IT having some issues. Is that something that you think we can get resolved in 2024?
Yeah, I mean that's tied into the financial part, because it's the IT part is the financial revenue module of the software that receives taxes. That is a lot of data corruption. The data there needs to be improved. I know that significant numbers of our taxpayers are turned away because the system there is wrong. So that needs to be rectified as well. That's our main focus for this year.
So that was Councillor Diarmas. Thank you for talking with us. I see the mayor has arrived, but not the official arrival, as he was not announced. But I see him meeting with his fellow party members on the far side of the house, where you're seeing the light coming in through the window. That's him standing up just in front of the city constable, Mayor Mentor, as we are approaching 2:30, and the meeting here, the first statutory for 2024, has yet to begin.
Councilors and honored friends, worship the mayor of the city of Georgetown, Honorable Mr.
So the mayor is ready to begin the session, and he's taking his seat. And we're about to get the first statutory for 2024 started here at the TT Market Conference Center for the Georgetown Mayor and City Council.
Almighty God, who in thy infinite wisdom and providential goodness has appointed ruling authority for the welfare of society and the just government of men, we beseech thee to behold with thine abundant favor to us, thy servants, who thou hast been pleased to call to the performance of such important trusts over this city. We acknowledge, O Lord, our dependence upon thee in all things and our inability to execute duly the duties on which we are about to enter without thy divine assistance. We therefore pray unto thee to endue our minds with wisdom and knowledge, and to impress our hearts with a deep sense of the fear of thy law, all which we ask in thy name. Amen. I pledge myself to honor always and to the Lord, to be obedient to the laws of God, and to educate my energies for happiness and prosperity of man.
Order of the day. Confirmation of statutory meeting dated Wednesday, December 27th. Seeking to have omissions, insertions, corrections, alterations. Of the motion of page 1. Page 3. Page 4. Page 5. Page 6. Page 7. Page 8. Page 9. Page 10. Can I have a mover? So moved by Councilor Mason, seconded by Councilor Sharp. Any matters arising, page 1. Page 2. Page 3. Page 4. Page 5. Page 6. 7. While I'm on page 7 now, please see. 1, 2, 3. On the announcement by Dr. I think the paragraph which I would have spoken, may said blah blah blah, meeting at the NIS. I think this was also a decision that we must meet with them. I know I haven't had any communication from you on this. When we can, or if you would have written to them, but also this was a decision I believe should have been part of the running through the decision of was made. I don't see this as a decision really, or if it's not a decision, what is the position in relation to this? If you would have written to the NIS set meeting.
No, sir, I did not write back to NIS. The last thing I did was write about the waiver, which was raised here, but this wasn't recorded as a decision, so I did not write them about having having a meeting with them.
Well, like I said, when this was set, it was really in the fashion, it was fashioned as a way in which we should meet with them. From the information we have here, and I did say I will lead a team.
I can write them.
Yes, please write them to we have and CC that to me as well.
Sure.
Page 7, page 8. I'm not going to introduce our father. It's okay. I had something that I wanted to. Page 9, page 10. No other matters arising. Confirmation of minutes approved. Opening remarks. I have some things I'd like to say. I'll try to be as brief as possible. Before I even go into my phone where I have those notes, DC, this is one that I would like you to look at. I think when we first came here in August, when this new council was installed and elected and sworn in and all of that, I think I would have suggested that I believe we have an orientation. Like, I know you would have written to one of the persons fitting with this, you can update the council on that, where we are as it relates to that, because they've been having a number of different things happening where there may be an overreach from council side or people doesn't understand their full responsibility as council, even as officers with the council as well. So I think we need some clarification on that, or people educating us. I might not need that particularly, but I gather many other councillors who wasn't councillors here before, myself, maybe Chase Green and others senior councillors here, might not, but they will be very much part of the process because we're all learning. There may be something that we might have missed over time. So I would suggest that we have that meeting or that orientation. I would have mentioned this early on. I think we get to the point where we identify a few persons. So we have to move from there. I don't know if you could guide us to where we are on that particular. Yeah, take it. Go ahead, TC.
Yes, sir. Letters were sent. However, nobody has responded so far. I believe I had given a date either in November or December, tentative date for that orientation. But to date, nobody has informed me that they're willing to conduct that session.
All right. So you're saying that there's nothing in relation to that?
No, no response coming from the persons that I've spoken to.
If I may ask a question.
Quickly.
So I want to know, I want to come back. The black is saying that she had no risk from those Hindu. Could council be told who was contacted to facilitate this engagement?
Yes, TC, please advise.
Sir, I sent letters to Mr. Vincent Alexander. I sent to the Ministry of Local Government and Regional Development.
All right.
I can remember those two, sir.
So what we need is maybe this council need, even though we having timeline problems, I think we need to really and truly address those issues so that we don't keep on meeting to discuss the meeting of the next meeting or the meeting of the next meeting without even finalizing something. So but they say, let's set a date for this orientation process. Maybe to the end of this month, if you want to suggest a date, and we work towards identifying someone for that particular time. I would have had some kind of conversation with Mr. Alexander himself, because he reached out to me, said yes, he did receive the thing, I think he was traveling around that time. So I don't think he could have committed, but I will speak to him and let him respond to you so that we will have that timeline in place. If we have any other resourceful person to be part of that process. I think this gentleman over the years would have done some stuff with us, with Vishnu something, Vishnu Bandit. But
He's not a local.
He's not a local government person. Who else? I'm not sure, Mr. Ashby or Ms. Chase Green, Councilor. You know of any other person that you think we should treat with on who has the kind of knowledge on local government that we could get through? At least we could invite them to the process.
Mayor, Council, happy you. As I said before, there is a unit at the University of Guyana myself and Ms. Sherrick might be able to help you with the this lady attending conferences in Chile on local government. She has a wide knowledge of local government. We can ask you.
Right.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Ms. Sherrick would be
Jarek,
ready.
you mind,
Be ready.
I know you Ms. Jarek lectures local government at the university. No, if I'm right, I stand corrected though. Ms. Jarek, could you shed some light on this as to who we should be able to write to on this matter so that we can have another resourceful person that will join our team to be able to have this orientation process completed.
The person to which council changed the literature is Miss Donna McKenna, who's currently on sabbatical, and her course, that's the course that I lecture at the university.
Right.
But she's currently on sabbatical. She's not coming back to work until April.
So there's nobody else there that.
George said she's lecturing that course.
Well, the government is really something scary.
George said that she is filling in that course.
So we not employ Ms. Jarek separately then?
Yes.
Here we are. Oh,
There will be no objection of my part. Jerry. Should be added to the list. If she's sitting here right now. During my tenure, every conference attended, senior officer. So Ms. Jerry could have had a white.
no.
If she said the name for Mr. McKenna, I will see why it comes to at the cost. At the cost.
Okay.
Unless she works, but what may happen? As we say, we don't respect our own.
Yeah, I agree.
We don't respect our own, and that's why we stay in silence. We don't
Why didn't it? Why?
Well, we can't have. Because she has done.
I agree with you. So outside of Mr. Alexander, Ms. Jarek will be one of those other persons, and I mean, in between now and whenever date we decide on here, if there's somebody else we could write to have a that so if we have a tripartite arrangement to fit with this, we will do that. But as it stands, the two persons that we're looking at is Mr. Vincent Alexander and Ms. Jarek. We need to decide on a date. So what date at the end of close to the end of this month we treat with that?
Mr. Mayor, just a thought. Would we want to hear when Mr. Alexander is available first, since we had suggested a date first and he wasn't available then? Wouldn't you want to at least find out from him when he's available?
No. If you wish. So please we get over this. I think we time bound Vincent Alexander. Let's see again.
As long as it's statutory days, I would. Right? I will make it work. Right? And the next statutory date is the 22nd. So as long as it's a day, we could work around it. I says whenever he's available.
Probably something. Based on the availability of them. We know we have Ms. Jared. We asked, where is she gonna be? She's right there. I think we see the matter. TC, I did indicate also me earlier in our various meetings that we need to treat these constituencies so we could be able to formalize our budget. I think also I suggested, I think we had some kind of arrangement that these constituencies that sit almost next to each other, we can use to hold our various constituency meetings to hear what the people need. Because local government, as we all know, is something from the bottom up, not from the top down. So we want to hear what challenges they have, what we could do for them. I know from a central government standpoint, there have been some that's been happening from the central government in various constituencies. I think we also have what our engineer would have put in place in relation to our plans for the various areas, but this is about the people, and we want to hear from them and see how we can be able to dovetail some of the things that we have to treat with from the local level so that we get those stuff that we can address. One is from the council's part. So I'm not sure. I know we've been going around in circles in relation to this, but I'm not sure if we want to identify the locations here. Let's say we start in constituency 1. We have what locations we think we could put in place, or schools, because ideally we could hold this meeting at schools. We don't have to have tents and many areas around. So if we can identify areas from, let's say, constituency 1 will have to have different from constituency 2. But say in constituency 1, maybe some school or some area in that location, you could work to be able to identify that. Constituency 2, this is where we are. People can even be here. If that's the case, people can meet here and have this discussion. So this we identify the next constituency 2. Constituency 3 and 4, we have the Campbellville School, we have the Lions Club, in constituency 4, Council Alfonso. Yeah, the Lions Club. Yeah. So we say between the Campbellville School on the constituency 3 and the Lions Club in constituency 4, or even Cincinnati School. Cincinnati, that school is on Guyana Street. We have those are options.
Gabriel.
Yeah, it's very friend. I know this was the record card for when we can get it. Well, so we can have a schedule. So there's 3 and 4. Then we have 5, which is 5 is you later.
Yes.
You should tell us where is ideal.
Yes, yeah.
So you tell us the place right off the bat.
Yeah, you have the PIC, Practical Instruction Center in Farmers Field from Park.
So if you could provide the
And
information.
they have the school.
Okay. So we have in 5, constituency 6 says you.
Seafield ground. The community center ground at Seafield.
Let me take the opportunity to, I'm sorry, TC. Guyana had a little incident, so a little accident. So he will be out of, I didn't bring the letter up here, but please make a note that he'll be out for at least a month. She's asking for some time to heal in that period. So I didn't get a chance to. He's constituency 6. Mr. Gary, you can identify, so you can identify the area that
The community ground at the back of the field.
the center there. Look at that center. So we identify those areas. We know whoever constituency 7. The Barnabas School. Okay, 7. Constituency 8. Freeport School.
Right.
So DC, what we're doing now, at least we having an idea or whatever. You could work with the other 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, whatever. Work along with the councillors, identify those areas, and also work to be able to get the clearance for those various days that we're gonna have these meetings, so that we can be able to reach out to the people. Let me hear you. I see you.
Sorry,
You
I believe that this is going around the wrong way. This is a constituency meeting, which is supposed to be set up by the councillors. You asked. What?
No. I was here under your tenure, chief, where Royston King, as the CEO, administrative officer of this council, set up meetings with all the constituencies and invited the councillors and officers to meet with those persons.
On a point of order.
No, that's
On a
not.
point of order. All the councils are my tenure already. Find them with the yellow. What Mr. Royston King did was to ensure that the PA steps, the officers responsible, which is engineer, town clerk,
This person.
see the work were present at that meeting. In some cases, you go to the administration. But it was the councillors who used to walk around, and we also did leaflets shared out. So,
But the administration did not.
the administration did writing of this. So we had
I agree with you. I'm saying that the person who writes on behalf of the council, who is CEO of this council, is the council. What you said in relation to visiting and getting the people out, that is the job of the council.
Yeah,
But the
you
system
have to
has
tell
been
me.
set up where the location is going to be gonna be. The PA system, as you suggested, in Bel Air Park, say, when we did that meeting, we didn't use the Lions Club. We didn't use campus constituency 3. But what we did, we used the Bel Air Park ground. We asked everybody in the various areas from Newtown and the Newtown to come out. And at that time, the top clerk provided this kind of tent and chairs and everything else to allow that. So that was provided. But my job, as you said, suggested was to get the people out. And I did that. And that is what we are asking for councillors to also do. But the meeting must be set up so that people come out to hear their views and to share their concerns so that we can be able to treat with these matters. And that is what we're looking for. And then we'll be able to push to be able to deal with the budget. We'll talk about who's the person you have in mind and what they're doing at this time. Try to get an understanding of from you and the treasurer in relation to that person that was identified. But let us finish this issue once and for all so we can have that schedule out as well. So that we can, during the course of this month, we can treat those issues, move into February, get before the end of March, which we always need to do is to get our budget out and get it in place. So that is where I'm at. If you have any other challenges in relation to other constituencies, I stopped the date. We moved to 9 million, we got moved to 9 and moved to 10 and so on, especially at 12 and ask each additional person. We have numbers for everybody. Get a location, you as the top clerk with someone of your officers will treat with that and set up a rule out the schedule. We try to marry a merge to this one and this one so that we don't have 100 meetings. We have this 11 and 12, this and this, and we get our meetings out way and move to treating our budget for 2020. Please do this.
Sir, the last time we discussed setting up these meetings, you asked me to submit a list, well, some dates that the admin will be available to have these meetings. Those proposed dates were done, they were submitted to you. I submitted it, I wrote it and I sent it to you sometime last month. I did not hear anything about. Yes, it was sent to you, sir.
Yeah, the only reason I asked you this question is because I didn't see anything. I'm being targeted as for these issues, and I don't want. I want to answer accordingly. So if you say I will check. But at the end of the day, I'm only asking the student to be. If you have identified dates, that is wonderful. What we now identify is location.
Okay, so some of those dates would have passed since there was no response. So what I would suggest is that the counselor can tell me what date is available for their meeting, and the admin will do their part.
I'm saying TC, no, TCB, we are guided here by a schedule. We will then be able to go and do a walkabout and tell people so the case. But we want to have those dates identified, those locations identified, which you will get from the other counselors. And every one, these things are not morning events, these are afternoon events. It usually happens just after work or just around work. So there's an additional thing that the officers will do to be part of that process. So we are guided here, TC, by you on this one. Because remember, this has to lead into our getting our budget until finalized. We don't want it to be an administrative budget. We want this budget to be one where the counselors that are involved and the people in the community are involved. So that whenever we finish this process, we would have involved them in the process of identifying things which is a felt need for them so that we can be able to treat with it based on our resources. So TC, I leave it up.
Sir, what I'll do, I'll get some new dates.
Yeah.
And I can forward that to you, and the counselors can choose from those dates within their constituency.
WhatsApp group as well, so everybody will be aware. If we have any issues, we can send it back and forth, and we can get it finalized, and we move on. All right? Councilor Ashby.
Good afternoon, councilors and your worship. For clarity, first of all, let me say Happy New Year to all the councilors and the administration. For clarification, your worship, based on this visit to the various constituencies, is it until after that then a budget draft here for 2024?
No. It's important, Mr. Councilor Ashby, that we do that. It's important. Ideally, this should have happened since last week. Sounds good. But remember, we had a treasurer. We had a budget person to deal with that. We identified those persons. And then I mentioned this here sometime at the end of the year. To treat with this. Now we're at a stage. What we want to do is wrap this up during the course of this month, head to our budget process during February by March. Because we usually try to get our budget out by March. So, and that is what we really try to engage and put in place at this time. Council, it's a funny, right?
Yes. Everyone, my point is constituency 1.
Yes.
Since 2018, I haven't seen a single soul from the council come into the area to look at the people or the interests.
The administration.
Well, if you want to call it the administration. So the problem is now the PPP done so many job work in the area. Right now, you guys decided to come.
No.
Where come to the right? No, I'm just making my point, you know. No, because yeah. So because you could please share this wrong. This is presently work got to be done in the constituency, and for the last 3 weeks, I heard people coming in the constituency to do these work, and until today, none haven't been done as yet. This is the proof.
I want you to hear me out. Take it easy. I want you to give a figure. While central government has been doing work, because that is what's been happening here. The central government has been usurping the role of the local city council. Not only in Georgetown. All right? They've been doing stuff with it. We're appreciative of it. Every one of us is appreciative. The previous government also used to do work. This current government is doing work. It's not something that's ingenious to the system. So we are appreciative of of all of this and all that is happening. So as Constellation finally spoke, he might have identified different systems in place to allow for that to happen, and so on and so forth. But I'm not, that area, constituency one, it entails a lot of areas. I'm not sure if they consider all the areas, Albertown, Queenstown, Kingston, Tiger Bay, but if all of that's fine. But really and truly, there might not be a need to visit. But I'm pretty sure you might have missed some areas, or other person may have other concerns outside the cleaning drain, and they want to bring.
So this is not drain, this is parapet.
Parapet, road, I see a lot of things happening there. So I'm just saying to you, if that becomes a necessity, and people also want to hear their concerns about that, you need to allow them to do that. That is the democratic process of how we treat with those issues. So, but if that will be a choice that you will have to decide, and we have to work with the top clerk on. But what we're doing is looking at the overall process to treat with this issue and to get other constituencies involved in the response to that. Gary.
Mr. Mayor and Council, the incident of culture showed the need for urgency of the orientation. Regardless of what the government work in the various constituencies, all of us, especially the constituency candidates, owe it to our constituency outside of politics to show that we were elected by those persons in that constituency, and therefore we have concerns about. Regardless of what the government do in constituency one, there's always going to be some gray area that the council elected needs to address. And I think that's what this project is about. This is about you as a councillor identifying specifics in your constituency that you would like to be done by the council where you lead as a constituency candidate. I know you could have gone to Freedom House and get all done, but trust me, at the end of the day, you're not get all done. There's going to be something, Freedom House or PPP, the government, sorry, might clear all the trails in type of day, but it needs to be maintained over a 3-year period when you will be the councillor. You know, as the councillor could put systems in place or put in the budget of the council a system to maintain those drains, to maintain those parapets, to maintain those alleyways. That is all this project is doing. It is not taking away from the privilege that you enjoy as the PPP councillor with the government. All it's doing is enhancing the work that you should be doing as a councillor through the local authority that elected you and not through central government. What should be happening is you as an elected local authority councillor should be performing these duties outside of what central government is doing only in the constituency that they're winning so far. And so the need for orientation has to come so the council can understand the role. You have to understand why you were elected, why people voted for you. And so if that orientation, which we want to have the comment that we had just now, we are still thankful for what central government is doing. Money is all of the money. And so spend it the way we enjoy it. But as councillors, we owe it to the people in the constituency who voted to you to show them that you can undertake a certain task and complete it and have it done in your constituency. That is all this project is doing. Come to your constituency, the residents identify a project. We've been doing it all the time in constituency 12. They identify a bridge across the Buster Bridge. You go to the council, you get money, you build the bridge. At the time, Council Chief Green was responsible. Turn up, got the ribbon, and so on. So you show the residents you voted for me, and in return, this is what I'm doing for you. And that's all the project is about. Nothing to do with central government or what central government is.
Okay, I see Councillor Hines. But before you go, Councillor Hines, I'd like to point proffered by Councillor Garvey as it relates to maintenance, because even though central government in their own wisdom choose to treat with these matters and do them at the end of the year or sometime when they start, there's no maintenance program. And that's where the council will be able to look at all of those things. That's really engineered will be able to establish all that was done in this period so that we can reallocate the money to other areas that has to be cleared and also be maintained. So we're grateful, but at the same time, we have to look at this thing not from a partisan perspective, but from a holistic and collective perspective. So I thank you, Councillor, for adding that to the point. Councillor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, councillors, officers. The responsibility of this kind of body is to the citizens of Georgetown. And I cannot but re-emphasize the point of the importance of this engagement that we need to have so people can be opaque as to what the functions and relationship ought to be between councils and the community. I need to answer that this exercise to which you refer is very simple and straightforward. I am surprised with the kind of question and comments in relation to what we are trying to do as a council.
I appreciate that.
I don't say anything more so. At this point.
Else to add, Councillor, I agree towards the discussion. What that's something and this discussion.
Why this exercise will be conducted? That is joint exercise between the PPC councillors as well as the APNU councillors. If we are working in the interest for the residents of Georgetown.
Everybody.
Right, so there'll be a joint something opening the group.
Thank you, Councillor. So, you will proceed with that. Could you speak to us about the issue concerning the budget and where we are with the person who has been named and I think approved by the local government commission and where they're at in the discussion with the treasurer on this matter so that we can be able to, outside of this constituency meetings and discussions, what we'll be doing hereafter. Who you want, the treasurer?
Sir, the treasurer is not here at the moment. The treasurer is the person who would have to update the council on the budget when it's happening.
We'll speak to her.
Sure.
Could you call her, please, at least find out that she got. What you did, okay, great. All right. In addition to that, I'm not sure if I missed it. I was just making some notes before the meeting. I did ask, or I'm not sure if it was a decision of this council that we write the impression.
Yes, sir.
That's how we pay the box. TC, in addition to that, I know that I'm coming to some market issues and I'm also coming to some other discussions I'd like to have. The TC, there are a couple of persons that are basically retiring at the end of one retired last week or something like that. I think that's Mikkel. Not Mikkel, myself. And then Mikkel is today. Am I right, Mr. Gafur? Wednesday, okay. I know it was customary that we put something in place for them where I'm not sure if it's going to identify it from the brain. But we used to have some kind of officers or people at that level. We had some way of rewarding them with outside of the thing with some ring or something like that. I think used to be put in place. I think Mansell would have served over 33 years or thereabout. and he has served well. I think Ms. McMichael also is leaving. They spent a significant part of their youthful life here. And there must be something that is put in place. I'm not sure if Mr. Gafu recommended it as the chief to you. I didn't see or hear anything concerning this, but I would like some advice on if something is put in place for those persons. So the customary arrangement of their service is recognized by this council. So I'm guided by you, TC, on this one.
Sir, I am not aware of the customary arrangements, but what I do know.
TC, but let me hear from Mr. Gafu, if you know. And this representative here for me.
Mr. Chairman, the requisition and treasury department.
It passed the TC and reached the treasurer. Picking up as the TC and picking up on the TC.
On a point of order, requisition for what?
Let me explain. Usually they get a ring or something like that. With the city council level or something like that. So you send it straight to the treasurer. I think you should have sent it to the top firm. For both persons you're talking about?
Yes, Ms. Michael did.
So this is for whom? Mr. Mansell as well as Mr. Michael. I think, but just not to Councilor Green. What about Ms. Miller, who they also retired? I would like to know what transpired there as well. So, TC, please advise.
Sir, if we're going to do something like that, well, then it has to be across the board.
Correct.
We had several persons who retired, and this was not extended to them. I remember when Ms. Miller was going off, the city treasurer did raise something with me about buying something for her. But then I also remember that the council, not so long ago, agreed that we were going to have a long service award for those persons. So I confirmed with the chairman of the Social Development Committee that these persons will be honored when we have that. As a result of that, when we have the long service award, those persons will be honored then.
So you're saying that okay. So that we do it then, bring them back straight to it then, rather than just as they leave the deal.
Yeah.
Council are in agreement. So we have that position, but what they will be rewarded. All right, I'm okay, I'm fine. You want to say something? Go ahead.
Mayor, councilors, council. I'm sitting in this chamber and I'm recognizing that decisions have been made from this council and given to the PC to write this organization. And it's worship the mayor have continually acted. Copies of these documents be sent to him. And I'm thinking if decision have been made from the council, at least if you write different organizations or these entities, a copy should be sent to him to his office at least. So you have to come to council all the time and ask him. No.
What I'm saying, thank you, Councilor. What I think most of the time the doctor usually send me stuff, right? I can see like the 90% of the time. And like she sent me that letter concerning the calendar. It may have missed me. I usually don't find any kind of fault in her, but maybe from time to time there's a miss. So I'm glad that you observe, but it's not one of those that we need to really overly highlight, because she is usually very vigilant with this kind of thing. So thanks for the observation.
Sir, if I may, when these decisions are made at the council and it comes back to the following statutory meeting, the updates are right there in the decision columns that the letters were sent and the date.
She would see me letters generally, but like I said, it's one of those things that from time to time one might slip out to the bar. So she's okay. Generally, she responds. All right, basically, on that, and I mean, basically, I'm trying to understand, I'm at the announcement, my remarks. You here? I'm still here. All right, let me pick with some matters that I had to deal with over the last weekend. In relation to what transpired over the weekend, over the holiday period of the New Year's, as well as the Christmas period, where I had the task of visiting these virtual markets, visiting all these different job sites and creating over the holiday itself. And I think from years prior, I must say that even though a few dumps would have pop up from time to time, the communication that I would have with Mr. Walter Ryan, I was to get more texts between me and Walter Ryan for 1 year over the last 1 week. So and I must say, in whatever way, however you able to put it together, in drawing a comparison between last year, when I was the deputy mayor, and to this period where I'm the mayor, a lot has changed. So I must give credit where credit is due, and I think Mr. Walton and Ryan did a fabulous job, along with organizing a number of courses to get another stuff. No, I'm doing this. I'm saying this for my own personal evaluation, and my own relation with this issue, and I'm saying this in contrast to the year before to now. I'm not sure if all of this came about due to our statements coming up to the end of the year, where we spoke about the 80% of work that is actually contracted out and the 20% that he's supposed to be doing. So he's still not finding a real solution at the level of the solid waste. For sure, that 20% of work that he's supposed to be doing, based on the 80% that we contract out to C1, whoever else, how he will be able to keep the markets, the road, and the various areas that he has under his watch spick and span. So I'm hopeful that he's able to treat with those issues, or that we don't get a chance to speak in the general meeting. I just wanted to just sum up at this time. So generally, I say this because I was doing my own evaluation, and on that evaluation process itself, I was able to recognize that it's not only the solid waste department that do cleaning. I myself really didn't figure that one out. I got to the point where I realized markets have cleaning people, solid waste got cleaning people. How do those persons that fit between the bazaar, the Starbucks market, and the areas around where let's call it tarmac, and a whole host of persons that do stuff there, but still not enough. So those things I was able to identify. I was even able to reach to the contractors, the poor people that collect the garbage where that compactor is. And I learned the reason why that garbage keep on dumping there outside of that compactor is because the man who operated the compactor telling people he trying to figure out where the people get the garbage from. There's not any business. We paying to run, to do a job, to collect garbage, and to ensure that they come. He trying to figure out some social reject, bring it from somewhere and somewhere. It's garbage. If they don't put it in the compactor, they can drop it somewhere else. And that's the problem we keep on having. So outside of that compactor itself, we will also need to maybe look at how else we could be able to treat with some additional another garbage place that people can put stuff inside in and around that market area or close to the bazaar or somewhere else, because that compacting we have at the back there, even though it's there and it collects a lot of garbage, there's still need for somewhere else. And in addition to that, the market department that has its staff dealing with matters out there, this will lead to the other point I would like to make, where I think Councillor Jacobs would have mentioned in some previous meeting, when we talk about collective bargaining and the arrangement as it relates to how those people work. Some people work from 7 to 11 and go home. Some work from 7 to 1 and go home. That has to change. All right, we got to determine how much work from 7 to 11 or how much work from 11 to 6 or 8 or something of the sort. And those are things we have to treat with and reach with the GLU about. But when they come here telling us about bargaining, about we want a bargain for we hours. We want we hours here so that we can be able to get this. I don't want to be going out there so often having to treat with these issues. So I was able to figure out all of these things in the last few weeks. Stuff that I didn't know before because I used to focus on other areas. There comes Councillor me and the rank used to deal with. We split the responsibility. Now I decide to while I macromanage and do all kind of management to be able to treat with these issues. So I was able to figure out those issues, and we have to put measures in place to treat with them so that we can get value for the money. And as we paying these persons to do whatever they're supposed to do, we get the kind of performance from them. So I believe at the level of the market and maybe to some extent the solid waste committee, something has to be discussed in relation to that. Some real solutions have to be put in place. We want to be a meeting of the meeting. Because if it comes back to that kind of thing, we can sit down as council change. We can make this council a committee, one big committee to make decisions on that issue and be done with the issue and find a solution for it. Because we keep getting all kind of fancy excuses, and we don't want them excuses anymore. I will be open just now at some point for us to have a conversation whenever we get into the other committees or the other discussions. But as it stands, a real quick solution has to be found in relation to this issue. I don't want us to have a back and forth on this here now, because it will be very time consuming. So I will leave that to the solid waste and the market committee to treat with, so that we can come up with some of those recommendations. Outside of that, TC and councillors. Last weekend I saw the Honorable, I should say, His Excellency the President in the Kitty area, and like everybody else there, you were obviously everybody would be happy to see the President now treating with matters. However, while I saw the headline of that particular article, I have it somewhere here. It speaks of, was it? Let me find it. It says City Hall needs to rebuild, restructure, and re-strategize. And when I saw that headline, I didn't even need to read the rest of the article itself, because it clearly shows or it clearly indicates that the President himself has been following our live stream, something that the Vice President himself spoke about, because what this council has been doing or has been working towards doing is, as we said, right size some departments, retrofit some departments, and reposition or re-strategize as a council. So I'm happy that the President himself is echoing the sentiments of this council as to where we plan to go, when we plan to go, and how we plan to go, and to treat with a number of issues that this council has. I mean, I know he's out there in the street treating with that, even though I comment to that, even though he has been doing that, I myself rather him not have to treat with that kind of micromanagement of various councils, because I also saw him in Eccles a few weeks ago as well, where the area it was in the bad shape. So it's not only about the Georgetown, in certain areas that we have these issues. We have these problems at Echo, we have throughout the length and breadth of Guyana, and in many of the towns that the PPP would have won in the last local government elections. So it's not the focus obviously can't be on Georgetown, but I'm glad that he's echoing the same sentiments that we have here to re-strategize, to restructure, rebuild, which is all consistent with what this council is trying to do in retrofitting, as well as right-sizing its operations. Something that Ms. Jarek herself has to be able, she nearly policy does not, but Ms. Jarek herself has to put in place so that we can be able to treat with these issues coming to our budget, our next budget cycle. So I thought I mentioned that, but I really and truly would have preferred His Excellency and the members of his cabinet to probably focus on the issues in relation to Venezuela and many other issues that, treating with our frontier policy and so on and so forth. So those are things that I believe is higher on the agenda rather than from a national standpoint, and let the councillors who are elected treat with the issues concerning drainage and other menial issues along the way. So no, hold on. So TC, I'm through with my remarks. Can you please proceed with your How long we sit down here talking?
Sir, I receive excuses from Councillor Adams, Councillor Bipat, Councillor Pagu, Councillor Jainarain Singh. Councillor Jacobs asked to leave at 5. In keeping with the decision of the council in relation to obtaining quotation for the removal and emptying of the new compactors which were procured by the council, I've written to Sandip, CNS, Kurans, and Sevons asking them to submit quotations. I have so far received 2 quotations, one from Sandip, who indicated that the cost will be $30,000 per trip. Yes, sir. And $30,000. One. And I received one from Huron Brothers, who indicated that it would be $25,000 to remove the compactor, which will be placed at the All-Whitestone Market, and it will be $40,000 to remove the compactor, which will be placed at Border Market. Huron Brothers indicated that it will be $25,000 to remove the compactor, which will be placed at the All-Whitestone Market, and $40,000 to remove the compactor, which will be placed at Border Market. Standard is 30 per compactor. One per compactor. I haven't received any so far from Sevons or CNS Trucking. I received some reports from Mr. Narain in relation to his report on the removal of carpet and bulky waste. I am asking that the report be forwarded to the Solid Waste Committee. Oh, well, please, I can read it out if you wish. It was given to me on my way to the meeting, so.
Here.
From searching your worship, in relation to your statement, Excellency, I think in
That's listen, under my remarks, I make my remark and remarks, then after the discussion.
No, it's not a discussion. I will
talk about some other thing. Under my remarks, I discuss my remarks.
I'm not doing that.
So, who else I thought wanted to say this? Madam Chair. Madam Chair.
Mr. Mayor, folks, that report of the article, Mr. Ryan was submitted. And you would have asked. Also, the same is in the right. Council, please understand, and that's why I would say.
Very important.
Officers are only present here. Then too, if she's not aware of it, and she calls me. They're here to hear the decisions that we, those decisions that have been handed to them by the town clerk. And so for you to do that, you have to make that request to your mayor, who will then ask the town clerk, who is in charge of all the officers, if she would allow her to be or if she would be sent.
I just. Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to make reference to the quotations that were submitted. Council have been paying these contractors for this company around the same monies to move compactors that had belonged to them. Now there's a case where we had some time to procure these compactors, have them in place, and to move these compactors, and that is the same price you gotta pay. I don't share closeness with these quotations. I want to suggest, sir, that there is a meeting. There is a meeting plan. There is a meeting plan to engage these contractors. And I want to suggest that we raise this matter again in terms of these quotes, because these quotes doesn't reflect kind of reality in terms of us having acquired these compactors, putting them in place, and then you're paying the same price to move these things to go to the next. Advertising is good for me to managing.
Yes, I heard that explanation by Councilor Hines. But what we have in here, whatever we do or choose to do on this issue, is one that's very, very temporary. Because we intend to acquire those trucks. I'm not sure where we at with that, but I have something I propose just now. I just thought about it because ideally what we want to do is get this thing together and to get moving on this issue. But originally we had a different price. How did the price going to be changed?
Sir. All right, so the last, I can tell you which two quotations were read the last time.
Yeah.
Furans did not submit any quotation the last time. Yes, he wasn't interested. Sunday. 25. Was it 30 and 25?
Yes, but
all right, so CNS, what I read the last time was CNS. CNS, they had indicated 20,000 per trip. and the other company was Sandip, who was $30,000 per trip. Well, Sandip, CNS. I haven't received that from CNS. This is what they had submitted to Mr. Narayan. Then the council decided that I should reach out to them directly, which I did. Yes, I haven't received anything as yet.
Well, if it's at 20,000, I think I have to commit to that. But okay.
No, it was a quote.
How do we?
It was
Okay, so if we calculate this thing, even if we left the truck as I heard a little whisper from the ears by a board or something, that we should try and get the truck as fast as possible. Leave the people in place until we do that. But how do we? What's the difference in the amount? How much is it? If we put our compactors at 20,000 by how much days? Per trip.
It would be $280,000 per week. $280,000 per week for a single clearance a day.
Against what?
1.2.
No. Go ahead.
There comes, like, I mean, for the school far, I live those. But if I got real compact, I rent the compact and I pay 1.2 per week to move it down. Then I buy the old compact. I got all the spare now for moving, I pay 1.2. Honestly, I would park the compact. And I'm going to buy.
But we say it's not the exact amount, but at the same time, it's almost there. So at least I have I thought of just now. This is my view. I think I don't know, chit chat, but I want to let everybody know. I know that when you originally would have approved the purchase these compactors, we would have approved the purchase of the trucks as well. Those were the tenders that were available. Purchase of the compactor and purchase of the truck. The problem is we didn't go ahead with the truck until we get it, which was a bad decision at the end of the day. When you sit down and think about it. However, those persons who brought the compactors also want the bid to be able to bring the trucks, and they will have the specifics based on the truck and everything else. And it's not no fancy much of a difference because whoever have these other trucks is similar. It's the same trucks that they're going to be using to treat with this. I was wondering. This is just saying that since those persons would have won that thing and they know the specifics of dealing with this truck, and know that they have, and for them to go bring in the truck, it would be faster if we be able to anoint that decision to get them to deal with it. The only thing I'm saying is that if we're doing that with them, we're not paying them any advance. We cause them to bring in the truck, and when they bring in the truck, based on the specification that we're asking for on the compactors that they provide, we only pay them on the delivery of the item. And that is my view. I'm not sure what other councils have on this, because this was a decision of the previous council to have them treat with that. So I thought I raised this. I'm not sure what the views of others. Before you, council agree.
Mr. Mayor, Council, if I can recall the decision for the purchase of the trucks by the state contract was based on the delay of the deliverance of the compactors. I don't know if 6 months has been absolutely made a decision. If we have not made a decision, it's not to change that decision. In regard of the purchase of the contract, I think the trucks will have asked our procurement office, perhaps, see how best they be able to acquire these trucks. I don't know how far you have gone with that, right? That's the top plan said the engineer was one time. What is the position of that? Because we have a procurement officer that was there. If not,
She gone, yeah.
Last year.
Yeah, she retired.
But somebody got to take it. And we go through the process of using our phone. Even if she got to use it, let me go through the right channel and let us look at our options. I am not certain anybody is going to want to bring in those trucks to the council, knowing the financial status of the council. Without getting unless they memorandum of understanding is signed.
Right. Well, let me say one way. These funds is not, it was fund allocated by the government. So this is not this money available. We have the money. No, that's the special yes. So I'm just saying that it's something we're looking at. And as you suggested, we want to be able to get this thing as fast as possible here. Even though now we made a decision and to ask the procurement person to start investigating. This is November. This is January. Just 2 months after, up to now, we get no movement on that. What we know for sure is that these people would have had this specification based on the truck and the whatever. What we're trying to achieve is to be able to get this thing done, because I like my good friend in the corner to the end there. We sell time bomb. We name it time bomb. Not to the end there, Mr. Jacob. He likes time bomb things. So I want the time bomb things. I think we need to do that. So my view, TC and other members of the council here, is that since those persons would have had all the things within it and they could put it in place and to get it to us, the only addendum to the arrangement is that we ain't paying them $1 until they deliver. And that they deliver it based on the specification of this issue so that we could start this issue out. So in that case, we could get it here faster than somebody got going to investigate, somebody got one sort, somebody got one figure its specification and all of that. It's something I believe that we should relook at so that we can be able to get this thing done. That's my personal view. I'm guided by the council. I see Councillor Young. You don't want but let Councillor Hines go before you.
Yeah, I just want to add extension to what Councillor Greece, the decision, sir. Because of the problems we had with the pool, the compactor, we took a decision here for the engineer and this, what the officer name? The procurement officer, to check to see whether we can procure these trucks outside of the arrangement we had before. We don't know what that position is. I would like to know what
I said that just now that we decided this is November.
Yes, sir.
Nothing has happened since.
Yes, sir. But we don't know what was the update on
2
that.
months after, I'm still hearing the same conversation. I'm trying to find a way so we can move forward. That's all I'm trying to do. Councillor Young.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor. Too often we've been going through some of these things back. The person that works with council as our IT manager or IT person, please get me along. Could by any chance that person could go to this website? He must know what is the requirement we are looking for in these things and source these things online. Based upon your guidance, you said we got this money in a special account. We can source these things ourselves and pay less. All of us here are doing when we buy vehicles, we whiteboard it, we get children board it. All of us doing that. So let us do the same thing and call the council less. Thank you very much, sir.
We have a procurement department that deals with matters under the treasurer. We ask that this be done. 2 months on, we get and we more that is supposed to deal with the engineer and all that situation. I'm saying that we've been exploring those issues, but it's an exercise of futility, a very futile exercise that we get in away. What we know for sure is that we have the specified thing. Because when the person was bringing the truck, the compactor, they're supposed to bring the truck, which is complementary to that. So we have the information, don't get me wrong, we have the information as to what the specification is. we've asked the various departments to treat with this, to act on this, but we don't know, I mean, yet no way. So what we want is to be able to deal with this issue and just to make a decision to save money and to get this thing action. And what I'm saying, I know that everybody may do it, but probably we would eliminate the profit based on what you're saying. But we also need to get this thing done, and we got to do something about this and do something about it quickly. If not, we just go around.
Just a couple seconds, Mr. Mayor. Thank you. Mr. Mayor, then if what you're saying is correct, and I believe what you're saying is correct, then there is something that this council need to do. This council need to institute penalties for those actions that are not forthcoming. Thank you.
Good point. But the phrase up. Oh, sorry, Mark. Also, sorry, okay. It's okay. Also,
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to take care of one thing where the procurement office is. On this matter, they are not spoken this option. They have not sent us where they are. We are hearing from this side that they are nowhere. They have not told us where they are. I know that we have to investigate and they tell us exactly what progress we make. And so no, we are here, we can find out. But so while I'm on the same thing. While I'm on the same thing. So as we speak, so I saw a video just now showing that the land that some company is grading the Merriman's Mall, an area that one company had applied for and we denied. As we speak, sir, they are grading the Merriman's Mall area. I hope we can ask the engineer to investigate.
Yes, you asked me, I think you went to the engineer this matter. And engineer, I would like you to address this matter while this meeting is going on concerning that alleged situation that Councilor Fraser spoke. Madam Doctor.
Sir, can we ask the engineer to update the council? Because I hear councillors saying that nothing was done on part of admin in trying to procure these trucks. I did give updates at least twice at two separate statutory meetings. But since the engineer is the person who was actually trying to procure this truck for the council, may I ask the engineer to step forward and tell this council exactly what he has done in trying to procure that truck for the council?
Yeah, definitely. You welcome his Go ahead,
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor Councillors. Mr. Mayor Councillors, good afternoon. Just to update the council, there were some attempts made by email to contact Parkerways. However, that was futile. We did reach out to some local company, ISG and Jumbo Jet Auto Sale, and they would have indicated, Jumbo Jet indicated hopefully before this week is out, we should have a quotation. ISG, they indicated to us that they may not be able to bring in any trucks within this year until 2025. So we're hoping to reach out to other companies who are bringing in these vehicles and see what is the best quotation. But so far, one company has responded. That's Jumbo. Hopefully, we should get that response before the week is out. That's how we are. So we are moving forward, sir.
So while we await that, I'm asking of, even though I'm not sure what we'll get from them, but say, we want is the earliest we can get this thing here. I'm wondering if we could still engage the people back. That's my only consideration.
So my councils engaging those persons or not, it is the same. I don't see much of a difference in terms of the shipment of these vehicles from wherever they're procuring it from. It's gonna take some time to have those that truck shipped into the country. So put it how we will still have to engage the private contractors in the interim, but whilst we work assiduously to see how fast we could get that truck into the contract.
Can we? Hold on. Go ahead. TC, my experience over the years with departments doing things here is take matters. So I heard the engineer. I'm of the view that we should explore both options and let those players revisit back that thing while we also see. Revisiting means that we committed, but we could revisit it along with hearing what other this budget or whoever else come through. But we must look at some. We can't wait for one alternative. What we know for sure is that these people who supply the truck, they are compactors, could supply the truck. We know for sure. We're hearing that but what we want from those persons also is the time. How long it takes, and the additional thing we say to them is that we pay no money. So now the specification is what we want. We pay no money in advance, and so on. We can still explore that while we also hear from what comes in between the engineer and the procurement sector. And then we'll be able to deal, because if we continue to do that, we will not have an option. Let me go back against it. So I would rather us, if we treat it with this matter of TC and council, we treat with it where we have alternative arrangements to deal with this issue, and we have option 1 and option 2. So if option 1 fails, we can leave it option 2. Because we know for sure option 2, the truck is available, the specification is available. They know where to get it from, and they can treat with it, but we pay no more. So, Councilor Young.
Mr. Mayor, we're just trying to help out a little bit. I've got on the line that importer, somebody who will bring in this thing. It's on the line. You want to know if you want it new or you put it on speaker. Shut your mouth. What is it?
Yeah, your finest.
Yes, I know that.
It's new, I guess.
I don't want it new, Shayo. Yeah. Thank you very much, Shayo.
But he has to get the specification.
But you have to get the specification.
You got given this.
And what I can do, I can have him send more than one specification with you. You see, you please can't finish because the people like the power.
Well, so
what we need is a solution. So my man,
that sounds like a solution.
Looking at something, because what we want is a solution to this.
Yeah.
And a fast one. Yes, right.
Let us do this thing. Counselor, is offering some help. Not help. It should be given to you. Clark will channel it to whichever course it is. The counselor should not be allowed to go ahead and make any arrangements. Because the child can Clark and she channels. She will go back to this. And it goes to any counselor.
Correct.
Any counselor. So, Councilor Young, the details that the person you call, get the information, get the number, to the top crowd, the top crowd will make contact, and they can send the information directly to the top crowd. So, and you stay clear of that.
No problem.
Very well. So we okay with that? We're also waiting on the information from the engineer, which you once again. And the last option is we probably consider exploring the old arrangement we had. But that's not on the table at this time. Let's move on, please.
Yes, sir.
You see that in the other thing there? Let me just table this thing.
All right, no problem. Oh, sorry, I received another report from Mr. Narayan is in relation to the contractors and default notices and supplementary notices which were served in 2023. Again, I'm asking that this be tabled with the council's approval at the Solid Waste Management Committee. So that's all of my announcements.
All right, thank you, TC. Responses to decision of statutory meeting dated Wednesday, December 27th. Page 1. You start over for 1 by the new year. Or?
Yes, sir. It's a new year.
Start down, we continue.
We start at the beginning of the year.
Page 1. Page 2.
With one page.
Page 1. Responses finished. Reception of reports of committee reports. Report of social development. Page 2.
This report, the secretary is here. Also, because there was nothing handed over with that. They have clearing committee. The date. You don't have united. For that committee. No, committee, all you have to call Mr. Carter, and I know you since 2019, writing back and forth with we at one point agreed.
No, I had disappointed. I did not.
You can't be more than I can for.
I am disappointed. Thank you.
But I'm not. I'm starting foundation, then they have no information, all people know that this is foundation and businesses. Because I don't know who's showing that. We'll call and find out if each criteria policy. And doesn't have only 2 words that we have. Again, calendar events is different from the diary of events. Calendar events is sent to social development committee because during the course of the year, money is garnered from that social development committee to offset nurses, day, luncheon, every day, pay and fix about they are. What I did not see discussed here, and Chairman has told me that they're happening on Friday. This fashion. You know, we got a lot of folks to fashion for the state spots, and we need to do that for the education challenge. I see my counselors are talking about reviews being done. The government will not take this week. Presently, there are 34 pages being done. At no point in time, this will give anyone. The government is doing the community will benefit from it. Communities have already benefited. And they will continue to benefit. There are lots of things and I've seen no report from seen no public. And this is disappointing. I told the chairman and the secretary signed this committee is also and there was no history part of that. Very important is review of things like
Secretary, where they So you said the second year, like the James? Who's that? She was this wasn't the time, but then as rightfully, but we are getting out historical information on the team.
The issue when it comes to this naming some of the previous outcomes. And when this didn't happen, the information is here becomes the secretary is named from the rank of Minister Hayes. Did that have it?
There's the 41 that we.
That's for the for all of these
I want your
it's just the president's name applying for a street name. There's no information on the person. This is the requirement of policy.
Carrington one was applied for a long time. The only reason it wasn't dealt with is because of the policy being get put in. But Carrington is a well-established force on foot. I was just thinking that now we get policy in place and the fall within whatever. We proceed with it because this has been going on for down here. This is a while now.
You might go back to
nothing was there available.
Just like this people now. But that's not here tonight. I've been yes. All information.
Could you shed some light on this issue? Why is it that enough information wasn't provided so that the committee could deal with this? I know you're not the secretary of this committee, but you're the overall technical and the overall secretary of the council, just like the overall chairman of the council. So certain things are shared and you gotta have an idea. Could you shed some light on this as to what really transpired here, especially with Carrington's issue? Even though I know we could fit with the reversal of this there, if more information can be provided, even now, before we even finish this meeting, we'll look at this matter and reverse this decision.
Sir, all of the information in relation to these matters are sent to the secretary of that committee, and it's provided to the committee. Everything that comes to the council is provided. If there is any additional information that was not supplied, well, then that is when we do exactly what Councillor Chase Green suggested. We call in that applicant or we get those information. Ms. Jarrett is here. The information is usually sent to her. She can also tell you this.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Your worship and councils, good afternoon again. Your worship, that matter pertaining to the application by Mr. Carrington on behalf of his father, I think Winslow Carrington, to have a section of Campbell Avenue renamed. Mr. Chairman, that matter has been pending since I was the secretary of the Social Development Committee. And I stopped being the secretary of that committee since 2016. And to tell you how long it has been pending prior to that. Your worship and councillors, the information pertaining to that matter has been submitted to the committee. Let me clarify. The committee of the councils are still standing, irrespective of whether the council changes. Mr. Chairman, all of the relevant information was submitted under the tenureship of Councillor Ford as the chairperson of that committee. Being on this committee, I felt when the matter came, I felt that he was going to at least guide the current committee as to what really transpired prior. Your worship, in 2022, That matter was left in abeyance because they were saying that they needed to get the street naming policy, and they put all applications for street names, change of street names, on hold, and like I said, held in abeyance until a policy is done. The policy took some back and forth, and eventually Mr. Hollingsworth from the city engineer's department, with the guidance of the city engineer, submitted a policy. The policy was tabled before the committee twice. Once when it was tabled, the committee asked for the policy that they needed time to read the policy. The policy was retabled a second time, and the committee approved of that policy. The policy was subsequently sent to this, well, not the city council, but the council. The policy was sent to the council and ratified by the council, and therefore the matters that were in abeyance were now retabled before the committee because they said they could not have approved it unless they are given the proper guideline, which is the policy, sir. So when the matter was retabled under the current sitting council, it's really on the understanding that they have read, they too were supplied with a copy of the policy, sir. They were supplied with a copy of the policy, the new councillors. And so when the matters were retabled, it was under the understanding that they would have read the policy and they can now examine and determine the matters before them. And I would think that Councillor Ford, being the former chairperson, would have at least given guidance to the committee to say this matter has been pending. This is the reason why the gentleman, and basically what the committee needs to know, what is the reason for the change of name, whether changing that name will affect any other thing or social activity or anything, whether the previous name was one attributed because of historical significance, and therefore trying to change an historical name, street name, to a new name, we cannot allow that. So those are the kind of things, and it's all written into the council's policy on street naming. So again, even when, and Mr. Chairman, I wish to apologize, but let me explain what happened on that particular day. The secretary who was assigned to the committee, Ms. Hines, was ill. And therefore, the agendas were already out prior to the day she took ill. And so I would have asked Ms. Abdul Vera to attend the meeting and just to ensure that the committee meets. She was in communication with me from time to time, and I must say the chairman, he's very open. We spoke and what have you, and he has quite a number of ideas, and we were discussing. The whole thing is that she did not have sufficient information, and I wish to apologize to the council as it relates to that. But again, I was of the view that the former chairman would have at least given some guidance. Thank you.
Before I want to get volunteer. Mr. Mayor, councillors, I don't care what information was shared in the past. What kind of information are the councillors having? Share it at the pump, not like sharing it at the my house. Pump, document to all the other councillors. They should have information. Character and name, and I will explain. I don't know my like I said, even though Councillor Ford, based on his experience and based on his time here at council and bringing historical information to the committee, the other councillors themselves should be privy to the information that should have been provided, so that they could have based their decision on the facts before them. So what Councillor Ford could have guided from, we could have let them know that this will happen, and really and truly, as Jerry said, that this decision was really waiting on a policy in order for us to rubber stamp it. That is what we really want to do. We were waiting on that policy to guide us to be able to say, hey, not the rubber stamp, you are allowed to go through.
But I'm saying, person would have reached out to me on many occasions and following. But need you, Mayor, you brush my, let's stop black message, everyone. All the information is submitted. It it is unfortunate that young leaders of your party do not understand and do not know that service function is good. Very, very unfortunate. But that's not my case. And so therefore, this council, as a matter of fact, would have agreed in principle that it be approved until the policy. But going through the standard you know, care what benefit
I think we do that. DC, we get some information on this thing here before I go. So we can bring back at some point for this meeting and
We got nothing else to go get.
let's move on. Okay. Let's just take on this part of the recommendations to be
So instead, we had lengthy conversation with Mr. We again are aware of the information that was brought to the council prior. So, with the information of program for the approval for this character, but I think I have to understand. But the police don't want to make mention. Yeah. So, the information is actually something that we I'm sure from support and all the other members of the I personally have no problem with this particular approval. That's what I do.
All right, so the recommendation on this page 4 TC in relation to Carrington request for the change for naming
portion. No, the portion. Yes. Yes. It's quite the one part. Part of the on the part could be this right. I think it's very more better to go back that position we should get that. I mean, you're probably you have important things that
so before Friday, for you to look at it properly and identify the area and all the specifics and bring it back to us for us to ratify.
On the what comes to mention about playgrounds. Now, when it comes to playgrounds, what was mentioned here is put out analyze or observe the work of the government. Earlier, we mentioned that we are great. And to be honest, we understand that the resources are there, they can utilize and fix the playgrounds, we are great. The only thing that we are skeptical about is the consultation process between the community or the council. Now, for example, in High Farm Street in South Robert Park, in South Robert Garden, there's a playground which a contractor was keeping his stuff, his equipment, etc., while doing some roads, and his contractor right on top of which to roundabout. That contractor had an agreement with the committee to manage that particular ground. The agreement was to keep his stuff there. When he finished, he would fix up back the ground as it was and hand it over back to that committee. What we saw happening is that contractor, his stuff was put outside, whereby the work was contracted out from the ministry, and it was from the Minister of Character. Give another person that contract to deal with that. Now, there's a lack of communication because there's the committee now looking over that particular playground has no knowledge of this new arrangement. So they would have said, no, ground within that particular area. Maybe this particular ground will be football. This one might be cricket, this one might be a multi-purpose. If there's no consultation between the community, people in the community, and I don't care what people say, there must be consultation. Even if you have the resources, you must be able to consult. So the mayor of the council has to think over these problems. I'm not in any way angry that the grounds are being done, but there must be some level of communication between such. Additionally, when it comes to the Department of Authority, as I heard you council read, we had a visit to the Social Development. at Dorothy Bailey and at Vice. The reason, of course, is to get the feel, but this is in connection also with the daycare that we're looking at, which is station at Dorothy Bailey. To get a feel, of course, of the working conditions of those doing the maternity health, the nurses, working hours, and different things. So we're hearing when it comes to maternal health, it would be something that could be put on our agenda because we believe it's very important. No.
The agenda is something always on the agenda.
What I'm saying should be when I took over the chair, there was no information that was given to me towards that. I was one of the persons. Of course, we have Doc, who's here, who's also been very instrumental in that area. Because I read the TOR of the social development, I understand what it has preview. So I try to push to make sure we get those things done. Those two comments I have in those four markets.
Mr. Mayor, I just want to clarify something with regards to the fields. I am from constituency 12. I can say, so fair. It belongs to constituency 12, and in 3 rounds on we have patient constituency 12. Consultation was met every time the minister shows. This is which on those roads. I know. I will not pass. As long as the minister, and they are always put out when the minister will visit those wrong, the time to visit those wrong, and we get people to come out and visit Yamaha Park, Yamaha Spring Run, and Concord. I think I'm the councillor in that area, and I will take the responsibility. I can call it.
No, I was not consulted, and I don't know that there was any consultation in constituency 12. If Madam Chairman walked around constituency 12 to chat with her neighbors, that consultation.
That's your opinion.
There was no consultation done in constituency 12. I don't have a quarrel with that, because when the things were in the Bronx, the residents constituency. But if we were going to do what we're doing and call it consultation, well, it's the PPP. They do nothing right. And so we can't object to it. But if you don't want to object to it, let the petition be heard. Let the petition be heard. Would have had, I think, have a good working relationship, especially myself and Councillor Chair. When Officer Lorraine contacted me about the removal of party waste, I went to Councillor Green and I said, on such and such a day, the party waste thing on this day will be coming to your ward in the constituency, and you need to mobilize your people to get started. I would have started if we want to sit around the stage and talk about unity and moving forward as one part, as one Guyana, and so on. That's the kind of thing that would happen. So when our constituency to stand up here and say she wouldn't consult no conference, nobody in constituency 12 will vote for Chase Green. Chase, she wasn't a constituency candidate as well. She's a PR candidate on this council. I'm the person in constituency 12 that the majority of the residents vote for. For her to stand there and say she wouldn't consult with us, I'm going to teach her a lesson in constituency. Come around. Come around, friend.
Councillors, I thought I heard Councillor Green said when she spoke about the report pay bills throughout the length of Georgetown, that is her for Georgetown. And I'm glad that she mentioned this because I think this is something that must be directed now to the council. Because PC, as well as the engineer, ought to know all these grounds that are being fixed, all that is being addressed. And some kind of coordination must be given to you, TC, as our lead officer of this council, as to what is happening throughout the length and breadth of Georgia. I say this now, I say this, TC, because I want to raise a particular matter, and I think my colleague here is the one. This one is especially in relation to parade ground, where they had some raising up and so on. And we know that there were those federal council quarterly. Everybody is there quiet. When you roll up that. I'm not sure exactly what is being actually transpiring at that round. That round also has some historic value, some as well as emancipation and a whole host of things that fits with that venue. And we really and truly want to know what is really happening there. Ideally, our engineer should be giving us this information. So I'm putting the engineer on notice, but I'm also speaking to you, TP, to be able to get to the bottom of the parade ground issue, as well as all the other 24, if that is also included in the 24 venues around the city, the ministry is sitting with. We want to know the list of them. We also want to know the understanding surrounding it. And I say this to say, most I say it now. That you make the ground, fixing them, bringing them down, up, putting them in good state is all well and good. For maintenance, we come back to that situation where maintenance has to be attached with the council themselves will be able to put certain things in before. We want to also know if the government is looking at that as well. If they're putting up yard work at these places, if they're putting up washrooms at these places, whatever else is being done, so we can understand our role in this and what role we can play as a council in treating this issue. So grading it up is all well and good. So in 6 months from now, it could be taller than dancing the grass. You understand what I'm saying? So we want to be able to understand this so we can piggyback on the stuff that the government would have put in place so that we could be able to have a sustainable approach to this information. So I thought that is something I truly believe we should get some information. And I'm asking you, TC, to request that information from the ministry or whoever else is treating with this. So by the next meeting, we will have that information and we will be able to look at it as well in our overall plan. Thank you. Councillor Dancy.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Councillor. I from constituency wanted to know. This information that you're asking the town clerk to acquire was published by the Ministry of Youth, Sport and Culture already. But it was published like 3 to 4 months ago. It was published. So do you want to
it was published on the
ministry page.
We're bringing it's not for us. It's not for this council to go and run around or truly talk to go and verify something. Proper practice, proper protocol.
Well, if you like the writing, just ask me. On the problem for 16 years of people doing something like
So I can write the ministry request.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Councillor Madison. I recognize what is important, right? No, there must be consultation if we want to. We have to talk. We cannot fight. I think we all know the reason why the council is challenged to provide certain services. That's statutory. Our budget, our revenue is $3.2 billion. This is 70 square miles. We have a wide network of road drainage, etc. Let us work now and find ways to generate new revenue so the city can do its work. And I'm thinking about several areas as I stand here. There are several things I hope to raise. And so we can all sit down together. And so we can raise money for this council. We cannot run this council on $3.2 billion and expect the council to maintain grounds, to clean drains and so on. 70 cents of every dollar we spend on salary alone. Come on, man, let us work together. Let us not slow down one another. It doesn't make sense. I don't want to be a part of this. I'm saddened when I see how we behave. We're very uncivil and we have to change that behavior. If we want to move this down forward.
Councillors and your worship, as I stand here and I hear the sentiments coming from across the board, across our table. Let's not forget that with under the AP and administration for years, that these grounds was neglected. Let me finish. Can it is that you have central government now coming in and looking to restore the grounds, which is good. I would have reached out to Council Gary and I said, hey, I will do a visit in your constituency. We'll look to work together for the benefit. So whilst we're here going back and forth, we're not going to look yet the past administration failed to do certain stuff. We are at the point that here what? Let's put our heads together, we have the resources, and let's work for the development of the residents within the areas. Right? As you would have said, as Council Green would have mentioned, there were consultations done with residents of these sort of programs, identifying maybe in some areas, or you might not be aware of the timing. There were consultations done. We would have identified key parts of the program that need restoring, fixing, and that's what has been executed on the ministry sports budget.
So what Councilman actually said. Let's both administration at different times work toward treating with matter. We all know what Mr. Granger was about. Green, we always want green everything. And and the restoration of grounds and those kind of things were all part of this community plan based on the Ministry of Communities at the time. So I know, so there was no issue in relation to that. And however, I gathered what maintenance. See what Mr. Ramson doing. Minister Ramson. And he's not doing it in Georgetown. He's doing it with the elected president of Guyana, right? However, if you don't have a sensible maintenance plan to deal with those issues, just finish one and finish the second and you come down to Georgetown and the Broward and come down to the grass will grow tall and high down because you don't put a plan in place to be able to sustain that situation. So what we're pleading with the minister about, a budget period now. We can look at those things because that meant to do a visit to. I don't think you're even here today. So you were with me when I went to South to the ground, so maybe the exit. Camera in the street. But we went to the ground, they just in already part of the south of the city. Behind the exit. Whatever it was. Oriana. That's it. Right. When we went to that ground, you know what we complained to people in the area then? We got a tiling down, so be sure the tiling will be fixed. And because the long-term plan, we're gonna have somebody there. Are we gonna have some yard hut here and everything? I'm just saying to you, these are the concerns they have. So I'm just saying that between the government and the council, as long as we understand this is happening, if you don't work like that, those grounds themselves, the effort that they made to bring it and restore it will be a waste of time. So what we're really trying to do is to edify the minister and to create the collaboration that is necessary to allow for the sustenance and the maintenance of these grounds. So that's basically the position. I comes to heights. No, comes to the premier.
All grounds have history. One has to take into consideration you go to an area with the ground, you must understand the history, how the ground come about and why things is. And the minister seems to think that people go into every constituency and do the ground. We have no problem. We have